Alright, welcome back to another carterpug video. This time we are going to be ranking every single hypercharge in the new Brawl Stars update for Season 29. 7 new hypercharges belonging to some brawlers, and we're going to be ranking them from worst to best. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, hit that like button, smash that like button, absolutely demolish that like button. And we're trying to reach our goal of 20 subscribers. All right, let's get into it. Peace. Alright, starting off with the first hypercharge out of the 7, we have Barley's hypercharge. Now, this personally is the hypercharge that I believe to be the worst hypercharge out of the 7 release. I just think that, honestly, it's a bit overwhelming. As I mentioned in my tier list video, I expected something pretty similar to Brock's hypercharge in the sense that he would just rain down a ton of bottles, but I just genuinely don't think it's good. It does do good damage, it does destroy bushes, but bushes actually are pretty good when playing Barley and when playing other throwers. And I think that the range, although it's good that they up the range a little bit, I think that the range could be a bit bigger, damage maybe a bit bigger, maybe he throws more bottles, because I just think that, honestly, it's an underwhelming hypercharge. I think that it's just not too much better. I don't think it gives him any significant buffs like some of the other hypercharges do, so that is why I'm ranking it the 7th place in the hypercharge. So that's my opinion on Barley hypercharge. Maybe they'll give it an emergency buff, but we'll just have to wait and see. So that's what I think of Barley's hypercharge. Alright, next up, the brawler that I think has the 2nd worst hypercharge, still pretty good, just not the best in comparison to the others, I think is Ems. Now, Ems, her hypercharge is just kind of mid in my books. I think that it's just kind of a gadget paired with an extra spray, and I think that if she was able to cycle her supers throughout her hypercharge, it would be much better, but she can only use one super during her hypercharge, meaning it just doesn't really get a lot of value. It's good that she pushes it away because that's helpful when playing Ems, but I think maybe if they increased the area or added some more spray, some more damage, it could be better. Honestly, it's pretty good hypercharge. I just think that they could have done better with this, but still makes Ems a better brawler. So that is why I'm choosing to put her 2nd to last. Still pretty good, just not the best, Next up, the brawler that I think has the 3rd worst hypercharge is Gale. Now, from here on, I don't think any of these hypercharges are bad. I think that they're all good. I just think they could be better. Now, Gale, I think that the range buff they gave him, or like the width buff on his hypercharge, definitely helps him become a stronger brawler. I just don't really see the point of adding a 2nd push, besides the damage, which honestly isn't that good, only 1150 for the damage, but clearing brawlers kind of similar to like it's kind of like the opposite of a Gene hypercharge, but and I think that it's pretty helpful. I think that the damage will definitely help to clear some brawlers out, and that paired just with his basic attack, which also will get buffed by the hypercharge. Very strong hypercharge. I just think that maybe if they added like one and it like compressed the brawler or something like that, I think they could have done better. I think it's still a pretty solid hypercharge and will make Gale just a significantly stronger brawler. So I'm choosing him to put him 3rd to last. Still very good, yep. Alright, going in the number 4 spot for hypercharges, I have Rico's hypercharge. Now, Rico's hypercharge, it's pretty basic in terms of a hypercharge. A lot of people said they were getting flashbacks to his mutation, which I completely agree with. It's from just eyeballing it, Kairos said he thinks it's like a 3 times range increase, which is pretty good. But the one issue I have with it is that it doesn't change how many times you can get hit by it, because you can only get hit with each Rico projectile once, meaning that even if the range is bigger and it so happens to like bounce again and hit you, it doesn't really increase the damage besides just the damage bonus on the just the hypercharge stats you get. So I think it's a pretty solid hypercharge. I think that it can be good when in like knockout and etc. Any 3v3 mode. I just think that they could have done better with damage, but honestly I think it's still pretty good. So I'm ranking it at the number 4 spot. In the number 3 spot, the first hypercharge on the leaderboard, I'm giving to Piper. Now, Piper, I think that a lot of people are actually underrating how strong her hypercharge is, because I honestly think it's very strong. I think that for marksmen like Piper, I think it's very good when clearing off the map. It's also good, just when backing away. If there's a close range brawler that pushes brawlers away, the more bombs and also just clearing up the map is extremely helpful for marksmen. Like if you're playing any knockout map or any wipeout map or any just map at all and you want to get rid of bushes or anything, having this hypercharge just makes that extremely better, for Piper. And, it'll also help clear up the map if you're playing with any, like other long-range brawlers like Belle or Nani or etc., So it's a good team hypercharge. It's a good personal hypercharge that paired with her stat bonus, I think can make and will make Piper an extremely strong brawler in so many more situations. So that is why I'm ranking it at the number 3 spot. For the second best hypercharge, I have selected Angelo. Now, Angelo's hypercharge, it's just very good. One of the most annoying things about playing Angelo and using her super is not being able to get the stat bonuses from the super when you leave them, and you can't really just use it in a very aggressive way without dying, because if you use it aggressive way, it's very easy to die. So by having this having the super follow you around, it's very helpful. That paired with her star power, which gives her healing in it, it's just kind of extremely good. It's just a very strong hypercharge for Angelo, and I think that it could be very helpful. One issue that I have with it is it did not remove Angelo's Zest, which I think that is a very big issue with Angelo, but I think that maybe if they want to buff the hypercharge, they could just remove his zesty voice lines, but I think that regardless, it's a very good hypercharge. It makes her a significantly stronger brawler, even with facing the nerfs that she's getting. Yep. Now, in the number 1 spot for hypercharges, I think undoubtedly the best hypercharge in this new update is, unsurprisingly, Frank. Now, Frank, it's not just his hypercharge by itself. Paired with his new rework, he's just going to be absolutely broken, because first of all, the thing with his super is it takes a bit to wind, meaning enemies will have a bit of time to damage him, which actually is good for Frank, because when he is damaged, he will get the extra attack speed, meaning when his hypercharge goes off, he can instantly just attack, or so quickly attack, getting free kills. I think that although it breaks bushes, which isn't the best for Frank, I think it'll just be extremely good in Hot Zone, in Brawl Ball. There's going to be so many clutch plays, and just make Frank an extremely long brawler, because he's been at the absolute bottom of the meta for so long. So having this buff, having this change to Frank, giving him this hypercharge, giving him this rework, I think that it will make him an A tier or an S tier brawler. And so that is why I've chose to give Frank that is why I've decided that Frank's hypercharge is the best out of the lot, and I think he's just going to be insanely broken. So yeah. So in conclusion, those are my rankings for the hypercharges. I don't think any of the hypercharges are bad. I think that they're all strong and will improve all of the brawlers. I think that they could have done some better in some aspects, but I think that they're all pretty good hypercharges, pretty good ideas, and I just think that they'll really just shake up the meta that mixed with the balance changes. And feel free to comment if you disagree with any of my opinions. I think that my Rico that low was, maybe a bit controversial, maybe Piper and Angelo a bit high, also maybe a bit controversial. So feel free to leave a comment if you disagree. And the shout out for today is going to go to YNW Melly and Freak Bob. And yeah, so see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, so see you guys later.